G'day YouTube, just a quick video of a little bit of concreting I'm doing. Things you're going to need for a small job: some drainage gravel like pictured here. I'm just using the Baston concrete premix, which you get from Bunnings. It's about $8 a bag. And some reinforcing mesh, steel reinforcing mesh. I had some just lying around. I just cut the size. And then obviously mixing it at the required quantities is listed on the packet. You can look it up. I actually added a bit more aggregate to make it go a bit further, and then I basically just built the form around the edge. You can see there that timber around the edge, and then screeded it with a flat piece of either steel or timber or whatever. I put a joint in there where it joins one side of the slab because there's already a joint there, and I didn't put a joint on the other side because there wasn't on the rest of the concrete. It's not attached to the rest of the slab, it's just it's reinforced itself, so it probably will crack on one side there, but I'm not bothered because I'm putting a shed straight over the top of that, so you're not going to see it. But basically the drainage gravel is put underneath there and just sort of compacted down a little bit. I wet it all before I put the concrete on top, and then I put a couple of blobs of concrete down and put the reinforcing mesh on top of that, so it's sort of sitting up a bit, and then just covered the rest of the concrete and then screeded it all to the end. So the screeding process is basically you just putting a piece of timber or steel on the one side is the form and one side is the existing slab, and I have allowed for a slight fall there so the runoff, the water runs off on the other side there. So it's basically just sliding it side to side right to the end, and then putting a bit of concrete on any low spots and then redoing it over and over again. Eventually you then trowel it off, and I used an edging tool to put the joint in on one side. So you can see there that line where it joins the existing slab. That probably will crack, but I don't really care because there's going to be something sitting straight over the top of it. It's not going to move because it's got the drainage gravel underneath, so all the water should flow away from it. The form is basically just a couple of bits of pine with some stakes I made up and just hammered it into the ground, marrying up to the existing slab that was there. And you can see there the mesh I've used. Just standard concrete reinforcing mesh. Overall the job turned out alright. I didn't fuss too much over it. The joint on one side there actually doesn't quite line up with the joint that's there in the other slab because the slab actually came over about a centimetre further, so there was no way I could actually make that line up perfectly unless I was going to cut the other slab. Yeah, I didn't fuss too much over this. I did broom it in the end. I didn't have a broom itself. I just used a dustpan and brush and sort of stood over it and just lightly broomed in the direction the water's going to flow. So then it gives you sort of a non-slip surface. So the way you do that is wait until it's starting to go off and just lightly broom in the direction you want the sort of the non-slip surface to be on the concrete slab. So I thought that was the best direction. I'm not a concreter, I'm not by no means an expert at this, but that's the way I did it. It turned out alright in the end. It's going to serve its purpose. I've got two more small slabs to do, which I'll do later on. But after that's weathered a year or two, it probably won't look too much different to the slab that's there. Probably the way to do that with the way I've done it is you would really put a joint in that side of the slab there, but it just would have looked a bit silly because there was no other joint in the other two slabs beside it in that spot, so I didn't worry about it. Just a note on the screeding, I had my old man over, we were talking and stuffing around, so I actually didn't film the screed, which I was going to try and do so I could show you how to screed, but just Google another video on how to screed concrete. It's not very difficult. More important to get the form right, and the way I did that was I used the existing slab. Now if you're doing a slab on its own, the one way to do that is you make your square, and to actually check whether the square is a proper square, you measure the diagonals on the square, and they should be within a few millimetres each way on the diagonal, and that will tell you you've got right angles. So just that's a good trick anyway. Yeah, alright, cheers. Well, if you like the video, and click like and subscribe. Thanks.